Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another session of Pastor Doug's virtual VIP midweek Bible study. Really glad to have you here. And as you can see, my ministry partner, Tall Doug, here. He's not don't look that tall today, but really glad that you're here. Um, Wanted to kind of thank everybody for coming out on Christmas Eve, and with those temperatures and stuff, I don't know how everybody did it. Well, you certainly weren't flying in that.
No, it was frigid. We could fly. That doesn't affect us, but boy, it was frigid. Hey,
I can't.
where are
I
you?
gotta fix it. we
Oh,
we
there
did
we
that.
are.
We did that on purpose. I'm sorry about that.
Don't ask
It
us why.
was my brilliant idea, but we.
We're serious here.
Yeah, we're serious about this. So anyway, thank everybody for coming out on Christmas Eve. We had a great service together with everybody, and thank you for that. And I wanted to kind of talk about everything as we're heading into this new year, about some of the things we have going on. And I'm really, really excited about this Bible reading program that we're kind of try to do as a church family. And Doug, share a little bit about that if you would.
Yes, sir. The motivation, of course, is the the Bible is God's word. It's our instruction manual, our owner's manual, as Pastor always refers to it, and it's our guidance. So how do we follow it if we don't know what it says?
Mhm.
Now, we don't have to know every detail. It's a lot of information, but the more we know, the better equipped we are. So what we have is a Bible reading plan that will require maybe 5 to 10 minutes of reading every day for the entire year. So here it is. This is a lot of small type, but the entire year, this is the entire Bible um, laid out for us
Give me an
every
example. What
day.
does it say for today or for January
Well, January
1st?
1st will be Genesis 1 through 3. So that's chapters 1 through 3. Now, this is not a front to back reading of the Bible. We'll cover all of it, but this is called a chronological plan. So it will mostly follow front to back or left to right, but it'll jump around a little bit as events actually occurred. So, for example, it starts off in Genesis for, let's see, the first 3 days. Then it jumps to the book of Job, and we do all of Job, and then it goes back into Genesis. So it will bounce around a little bit just to give you the feel of how things actually occurred. You know, we know the stories of King David and Samson, Jonah, Noah. Well, when did those things happen relative to each other? So we'll put them on all in chronological order. So you'll have access to this. You can pick these up in front of church, so you'll have the entire year available. Put it in your Bible, and as you read January 1st, you just cross it off. And if you get behind, you'll know where you are. You can catch back up. If this isn't convenient enough for you, this is the monthly newsletter that Ali puts out, the monthly calendar. On the back side, this is all about reading plan for the month of January. So it's all there. It's easy to find, to access. And also, if you are receiving the morning message, what we'll do is we'll have that message reference something out of the daily reading. So it might be a part that is maybe a little confusing or just doesn't make sense. So there'll be a morning message, an email that will explain some of those things. And if you have questions, you can send them to me and we'll try to explain it to you.
And who does the morning message come from?
That comes from me.
Okay.
So it's my email address is doug737lga@gmail.com. Now that kind of makes sense from my perspective because my name is Doug. For a lot of my flying career, I flew the 737 out of New York, which is LGA for LaGuardia Airport. So that's where it all came from.
So again, your email address is
Doug737lga@gmail.com. There's almost 100 people on that list now, mostly from the men's group, and then some other folks from the church. It was initially designed for the men's group, but it's open to anyone that wants it. I've got family members and people I fly with, so there's people from all over that are part of that and see that morning message.
So you're sending out a morning devotional.
It is. It's something I've read, and I thought, oh, that's pretty neat. Something I didn't know or understand, and I just shared with the group. So if you'd like to be part of that, I'll be glad to add your name. Um, What I've done to this point is a morning message Monday through Friday. Then on Saturday morning, I would send out a short video, something that I thought was really well done by some pastor or some apologist. And then Sunday, I would not send out a message because the big guys got the message Sunday morning. But now with the reading plan, I'll do one every day because we'll be reading every day. So that's what we'll do in 2023.
Great, man. I love that, Doug. It kind of leads me to where I wanted to talk a little bit today about. I'm doing a new series starting in January about resetting your life. And I don't know about you, but there's been several times throughout my life that I had to reset my spiritual life and just kind of get back and say, you know what, I need to get back into these habits of what I know works, what I know is positive and productive and helping my life in lots of different ways. I need to make sure I'm doing those routines and those disciplines. You know, when you talk about discipleship, the root word is discipline. And for anything that's good for us, we have to discipline ourselves. And let's just talk about that. What type of disciplines do you have in your life? What do you do to discipline?
Well, I get up early in the morning, and that's not by the alarm clock. That's just my nature. At 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'm just awake. Mm-hmm. So I get up and I spend some time reading. I'll be in the Bible or some other devotional or a book. Right now, I'm reading a book called The Letter to the American Church. So I'll take that information and then sift out something that I think would be really useful for the morning message, and that's how I start. My lovely wife gets up almost every morning and works out. She is very disciplined in that regard. But I think the daily devotional, it needs to be what it says daily. It's hard to do it every day because all of a sudden there's a phone call or this changes, and it's very easy to have your entire day go by, and before you know it, you didn't get that Bible reading done.
We set these routines in our lives, and we do them for the benefit of paying attention to a certain thing. It could be a financial discipline where you're saving a certain amount of money, or maybe you're not spending on certain things that you used to spend on. He mentioned exercise. That's a discipline. Health is a I go to the doctor every year just to make sure. The disciplines in our lives are there for a purpose. Our interest, I think, is kind of an innate interest from a human side, knowing that disciplines are generally good. They'll generally help you. Look at the athletes that have to discipline and their whole lifestyle for the benefit of performance, and musicians who practice. You take our worship team; they're in there at 8:30 for their Bible study, and then by 9 they're going through all of the songs that they're going to play for you in worship time at 10. And so, you know, it takes discipline. These folks Michael just didn't sit down at the drums and he might have been able to automatically play. He's a pretty talented guy, but, you know, it took time to prepare that. People in professions like doctors and lawyers and anybody in a profession, they had to discipline themselves to go to school and to make the grades to be able to do what they do. A real estate agent has to be licensed and take the time to do all those things. So everything that's beneficial, I think, has a discipline involved around it. And there's nothing more important in our lives than our spiritual life. And so those disciplines really, really matter. All of us have been through experiences, and we know when we get away from our church attendance a little bit, maybe it's our Sunday mornings or whatever, or maybe we just flat stop going to small groups for whatever the reason is. You suffer, and you know you do. We know it. We realize it. And so what I want to do is get this concept of just resetting things. Sometimes with my computer, what I often do with my laptop is I have so many things opened across the top. You know, Douglas will say, "Dad, you got to close out some of these things," and then my computer will freeze. And he says, "Now you got to reboot it. So you got to shut it all down and start it back up again." And sometimes in our lives, that's what we got to do. We got to reboot. We got to restart, knowing some of the things that we need to and should be doing, and then get those things involved back in our routines of our lives. And that's what this series is going to be about. How do you do that? And why do you do that? What does that look like? And what is the process? So this coming Sunday, I'm going to introduce that series and begin that. I think you're going to like it. I'm going to give you 4 points to deal with and think about, and just some areas where you judge yourself. You're going to judge yourself. You're going to, hey, I need to really work on that. We're going to have some boxes there for you to check out, and you're the only one's going to see them. You're not turning it into me. I'm not looking to judge anybody. I want you to be thinking about it yourself, and we'll work through that process to see how we can help benefit each other by the disciplines that we do. Because if I'm disciplined in my Christian life and my preparation for my messages, it comes and should benefit you. If Doug takes his abilities and his talents, his early morning message that he sends out, that should be a help to you if he's disciplined enough to do that. So everything that we do, every discipline that we have will offer benefits to the other people. Let me just give you a real quick example. Let's say that I don't do anything to take care of my health. I don't take the medications I'm supposed to. I don't get any checkups. I don't get to go to the doctor when I need to. It probably will lead to medical issues for me in my life eventually. And then I can't be your pastor. If I'm a help to you in some way, or I enjoyed giving you a message or sharing with you, and I didn't take care of myself, now I can't do that anymore. That hurts other people. Not only hurts me and my family, but it hurts the people around me. And it's the same thing like you. We're gathered as a church family. God has gifted each one of you to have special skills. You bring certain things to the table, and it's a benefit for others. And so we discipline together. We worship together. We small group meeting together. We run our devotionals together. And I love this concept of reading the Bible together. I think it's just a healthy way to look at things.
I agree, because reading the Bible is difficult. It's difficult sometimes to understand what's being said, because you have to remember that it's written from the perspective of biblical times. The culture was different, so the language was different, and it meant different things. The translations do as good a job as they can to bring it to current day English language so we can understand it, but we sometimes have to get the interpretation based on what was meant by the authors. So as we read together, we can be in the same page. Hey, what did that mean when on Wednesday we read this section? Did you understand that part? And we can talk about it, and as a church grow together. When you mentioned discipline earlier, you think about the habits that we form, and we were disciplined, but then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And think about how disruptive that was for our habit patterns, for our disciplined life. So things like going to the gym, if that was part of your routine, you couldn't do anymore. Churches were shut down for a period of time, so people didn't come here. And you then break those habits, start new habits, and then you don't come back to church or your small group or maybe the workout routine. And it's time to reset and get back to those things.
I just think it's healthy. I'm excited about it. I'm really enjoying the series preparation that we're doing, and I hope you'll join us for that. Get that camera back down there as we close it. Now I want to be right there, like here.
You want that much? Are you showing?
Yeah, that much.
How's that?
Wait till Allie sees us. Now Allie's gonna
wonder what in the world happened.
She's in a different room, and she's gonna take this and prepare it to send out to everybody. And she's going to look at the beginning and see the heads and say, Dad, you guys messed this thing up. So sorry about that. Hey, we love you. God bless you. I hope to see you on Sunday. And let's prepare to reset our lives moving into 2023. God bless you. Have a great day.